Hi, welcome to my Dreamee crochet channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet the even moss stitch. This stitch is reversible, so it looks identical on both sides of your project, and it creates a beautiful uniform pattern. It is one of the easier crochet stitches, so it is ideal for all beginners. I'm also going to show you how to change colors and how to count rows when working on a project using this stitch, so make sure to watch till the end. We will start with a foundation chain, so create a slip knot on your hook and chain your desired length, making sure you always have an even number of chains when working on the even moss stitch. I will just chain 20 for the purpose of this video tutorial. Okay, so that's the chain done, and we are now ready to continue with the next row. So to start row 1, we will slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. So this is the first chain and this is the second chain, but we will crochet into the back bumps of the chain. So if you turn the chain, we will crochet into these bumps. And this is the bump of the first chain and this is the back bump of the second chain, so that's where we will slip stitch into. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull through the bump and pull through the loop on the hook. And that's the first slip stitch completed. Next you will half double crochet into the back bump of the next chain. So to do a half double crochet you need to yarn over first, insert your hook into the back bump, yarn over and pull through the bump, and you will have 3 loops left on the hook. So yarn over again and pull through the 3 loops. And that's the half double crochet completed. From now on, you will be taking turns between a slip stitch and a half double crochet. And because we have just done a half double crochet, then we will do a slip stitch in the next bump. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull through the bump and pull through the loop on the hook. The next stitch will be a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into the back bump, yarn over, pull through the bump, you will have 3 loops left on the hook, yarn over and pull through the 3 loops. The next stitch will be a slip stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull through the back bump and pull through the loop. And the next stitch will be a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into the back bump, yarn over and pull through the bump, and yarn over and pull through the 3 loops. I will now let you continue with this row, taking turns between a slip stitch and a half double crochet until you get to the end of the row. Okay, so here I am at the end of the row, and your last stitch should always be a slip stitch in each row. So let's do the slip stitch. And this is what your project will look like at the end of row 1. To continue with row 2, you will chain 1. And turn your work over. We will start row 2 by slip stitching into the first stitch, but because we did a turning chain, the first stitch is in fact the second chain from the hook. So this is the first chain, and this is the second chain, so you want to slip stitch into this one. And with the even moss stitch, the first and the last stitch in a row is always a slip stitch. So insert your hook into the second chain from the hook, yarn over and pull through the stitch and pull through the loop on the hook. The next stitch will be a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through the stitch, yarn over again and pull through the 3 loops. The next stitch will be a slip stitch again. So insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull through the stitch and through the loop. The next stitch will be a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through the 3 loops. And from now on you will again continue taking turns between a slip stitch and a half double crochet, just like you did in the previous row. And slip stitch in the last stitch. And this is what your project will look like at the end of row 2. To continue with row 3, you will chain 1, and turn your work over. You will again start from the second chain from the hook, so that's the first one and that's the second one. So slip stitch into the second one, then do a half double crochet into the next stitch, and then continue to take turns between a slip stitch and a half double crochet, finishing the row with a slip stitch. I will finish this row with you to show you what your project will look like at the end of row 3, but basically you will follow the same pattern in every single row. Okay, this row is done and this is what it looks like. Depending on your tension, you may notice that your work is twisting, but don't worry about this because your project will flatten out as you crochet along. I will now crochet a few more rows to show you what your project will look like later on. Okay, so here I am. I have completed a few more rows and you can now see the beautiful texture of this pattern. It's a bit dense, but still nice and stretchy. And as mentioned before, the pattern is identical on both sides. If you would like to see what projects I made using this stitch, then make sure to check out the links to the free patterns I included in the description below this video. So let's now move on and I'll show you how to change the colors. If you would like to change colors when working on the even moss stitch, you can do that while working on the last stitch in a row. So when you are ready to complete the last stitch, insert your hook into it, and remember the last stitch is always a slip stitch. Loop the new color around the hook and pull it through the stitch and then through the loop on the hook. It can be a bit fiddly, so go slowly and then pull on the tails. Now you are ready to continue with the next row, so chain 1 and turn your work over. And you can pull on the ends again if needed. You will now crochet the next row following the same pattern as the previous rows. So slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and then half double crochet into the next stitch. Slip stitch into the next stitch, and half double crochet into the next stitch. And you will continue across the row until you get to the last stitch, where you will do a slip stitch again. I will just finish this row so I can show you what the color change looks like. Okay, so that's done, and this is what your work will look like when you change colors. I'm now going to show you how to count the rows. When working on a project using the even moss stitch, you can either count the worked rows or the loop rows. The worked rows are basically every single row you crochet. So for example, this loop row is in one row, and the next row is here, squeezed in between the two loop rows. So for example, if you are going to start counting from here, this would be row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Another way to count the rows is to count the loop rows only. So for example, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you can receive an update when I publish a new video. Thank you for watching.